clearing my throat before I say, God bless you all, ScotsMaiar here, and welcome back to the last segment of Hannah's chapter right here. I must say, compared to Isabel's chapter, I think this was quite short. At least I think it was. Aye. Yeah, Hannah's didn't seem that long compared to Isabella. But nevertheless, this is the perfect time for a ghost to come out.
Hello, Rebecca Gales here.
Or her.
Who's this?
It's me!
Good morning, Becky.
Hannah? Oh wait, how did you get my number?
Or Hannah means family.
You responded to your RSVP through the phone. It's all saved in here, of course.
So you do have connection here.
I thought I'd like to say hi and make plans and get together sometime.
Hi, let's make plans and get together sometime.
Also, I'd love to hear news about your mother and father and about you, my dear.
Oh,
I hope I didn't wake you up.
no, not necessarily.
Oh, you're good.
Do.
It's sports day at school today, so I was just prepping for that.
Oh yeah, I forgot she's a teacher, yes.
Figures that you'd be a teacher as well. I'm sure your students must absolutely adore you.
That's what I just said. Okay, I might as well make this a drinking challenge at this point. Every time I say something and then the characters say what I just said, I take a sip. I should do that sometime.
Don't know about that.
Mathematics?
History, actually.
Ah,
Anyway, it's real nice to know you've got my number. I was going to ask for yours because Mom wanted to keep in touch.
very good.
You could have asked, silly girl. I would have gladly given it to you.
Well,
Couldn't though, because, well, the thing that happened.
oh,
But really am sorry though. I gotta run. School, schedule, stuff.
bye Becky.
Are there anything else you want to say? Don't want to use the mobile while driving.
Oh, of course. I shouldn't keep you. But I wanted to thank you for your company yesterday.
To keep you. Wait until Casper the ghost tells you that. Can I keep you? No.
Not a problem.
And for that other thing as well.
What for now?
For what you said to me, with what had happened. It's been very helpful in...
Yeah, here we go. Here we go. This is not gonna be good. Oh no. Okay. You click the noise channels out most of her words too. I doubt she can understand what I'm saying. What the heck? And the line completely dies. Hey, Ghost, I thought you were with Becky. If you're gonna stalk Becky, stalk Becky! I can feel the headache coming along. It's starting to build up, starting with a light throbbing on one side of my head. The static is gone, and, well, that helped a lot, I suppose. But there is still that incessant, horrible clicking. Oh, is that what they call that noise? I thought it was her choking on something. That's more like a choking noise. Again, and again. Which doesn't make sense. The mobile's turned off, isn't it? That's not the phone, sweetie. And if it isn't coming from the phone, then where? It's from the cellar. Don't be daft. And the cookie stopped. I can hear the crying, that familiar crying from before. Okay. At least she's crying and not making that horrifying noise. Common room. Oh, don't tell me she's actually daft enough to go down there. What happened the other day when I was told that nobody should have been down there? You shouldn't be down there either, darling. I tried to forget it because of how it unsettled me so. One can hardly do that while I'm looking at the very thing I'm trying to forget. Somebody is crying down there again. But if I leave it alone, it simply won't stop bothering me for the rest of the day. You know, you can't just walk out of this. You know that? They might have forgotten to lock it and the party's going on. Hannah, you don't have the keys.
This again! If somebody is pulling my leg, I will not be happy!
To quote Rennie from Allo Allo, "You stupid woman! Can you not see that there is a haunted ghost down there?" No. Just no. Oh boy. I should save the game. At least then I'm making at least some trace of progress. It's up to 10 files here. Yeah, I'm delaying the inevitable here. Let's look down the cellar. A sense of uneasiness washes over me. Oh boy. It isn't just the sudden onset of vertigo and nausea, but also the darkness. It's suffocating. And as I look down, it feels as if it's looking back at me. Yeah, there's gonna be eyes peering out. I'm keeping my distance. I worry that something will suddenly pull me into the deep. Be careful what you wish for. Jump scare! Okay, not quite yet. The cries down beneath the shrieks that start echoing my head, high and shrill like nails being dragged across a chalkboard. Actually, this is somehow more comforting than that. They're all screaming, shouting. I mean, at least from what I've experienced in the game. Anyway, and I can just feel her rage. Her rage. Good. I can use my ounce of her rage. How about no? She wants to drag me down and crush me in the very depths of darkness until there is nothing left of me. How about no? The deep abyss waits for me. For my death. Oh my goodness. They're all calling for it. This is a nightmare. Jump scare. There's a rope around my neck, and I can feel the rest of me being torn apart. You're tearing me apart, Hannah! Okay, at least I don't have to experience that same flipping jump scare from that dream. And they're still screaming. Is it just me, or is this place getting a bit misty in here? I must have been smoking too much weed the other day. I'm screaming. Though, it's not my voice that escapes my lips. It crawls through, climbing up and forcing its way up my throat, like putrid bile. I also saved the game here. There's some funky purple and maroon going on around here. I choke and gag and I scream and shriek all at the same time. This is like a psychological horror more than anything. And I'm me, but not me. My goodness, it's almost like she's not even talking about the ghost. She's talking about herself almost. No. Fuck! Oh, no! Oh no! Oh! 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 What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay, I knew there was going to be a quick time event, but Ah, okay. Thank God. I can breathe. I can breathe. Oh. Oh. I feel my whole body seizing, rising on the floor. Everything and nothing hurts. Whew. Feels like I'm on the verge of death. Oh. Oh. And if I'm not dying, I nearly wish I actually am. At least I get to meet my maker and be an ex-Hannah.
Hannah? Hannah, what is going on in there?
There is a ghost!
Why are you?
Prince!
Prince? Seeing Luke, something snaps back, and I'm able to take a gasp of air on my own volition for the first time in what felt like centuries. I would have rejoiced and cried for his name if the pain still did not rack my body. Aww. There we go. Yay! The relationship is fixed. Yay! Instead, all I can do is stare listlessly as he comes to my side, lifts me up, cradling me in my arms. Aww. He tries to get me to my feet, perhaps to take me out of here. But all he's able to do is to get me to sit. Make sure I'm not trashing on the floor. I can still feel my muscles spasm, limbs jerking like a puppet on a string. Luke holds me tight and keeps me still, and so that I do not hurt myself anymore. Whatever it is that happened, it has my mind feeling frayed and battered. Eventually, the pain dies down to a dull ache, and my own tongue stops feeling like cotton. It's only now that I can feel the wetness on my cheeks, tears streaking down my face. Oh, bless you, bless you. It just feels so horrible. But I don't care. I don't care.
Luke, please.
What happened here? Who did this to you?
It was the ghost!
I don't know. I'm so sorry.
Shh, it's all right. You're safe now, Hannah.
You're completely safe. You just be with each other for a while. At least your relationship's fixed now.
You're safe now.
Yay! Well, we managed to save the relationship. Why are you giving me that? Zachary! Yay! Pleasant aroma hits me long before I come across the threshold. Faint but light and warm, reminder of what home is. Pa's stern but commending gaze, Ma's tender smiles, the sunlight filtering through the eaves in the morning, and the distinct smell of cinnamon and vanilla as it drifts through the air every time something cooks from the room. The room. Our room. Ma and Pa's pride and joy. My sister and I, too, eventually. But we ain't allowed there. Not yet. Not until we're taller or older. Not until we learn how to take care of ourselves and not to burn our hands or reach the cupboards without having to be lifted.
But a little peek wouldn't hurt, yeah?
The floorboards are cold under my feet more than it usually is. The wall's more forbidden than what I'm used to. Farther and farther the room goes. My singing ceases and Pa.
No, please wait. I'll be good. I'll sleep on time. Don't go.
I can't hear Pa. Oh my goodness! Not above the raucous clanging and the deafening roar of gunshots, nor the screams replacing the comforting soft melodies. There's only the blinding fear. When my foot slips, the red sea that catches me is bitter and frigid, but the blood that drips in my hand is warm. 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 It ain't my blood. The walls tumble. Everything goes quiet. Wake up, Zachary. It takes a few moments for everything to fall into place. For my eyes to adjust to the relative darkness of the room. Despite the pleasant chill the AC brings, my shirt is clinging tightly to me, and my blanket, a dangled mess around my throat. Morning has not arrived, and yet...
Way too early for this thing, man.
Too long. Too long since the last I've woken up drenched in my own sweat, head littered with thoughts as they are gone as soon as my eyes open. All too often, only imprints and brief images are left to haunt me for the rest of the day, or until my mind forgets about it. Egad, whichever comes first. Yet vivid or not, what little I can remember does not matter. Dreams are weird like that. Regardless, the desperation sticks, clawing up, pushing and urging me to relive every moment, every sensation, and... There's a twinkle in Ma's eyes when she looks up from her work, flour dusted in her nose and cheeks. The scent of freshly baked bread wafts from the oven as soon as Pa opens it, and the homely fragrance of honey fills the room. He reaches up to wipe the small beads of sweat away from his forehead before gesturing for me to come closer the moment he spots me in my little hiding place behind the door. I expect him to be angry, but his pat on my back when I come within his arm's reach is encouraging enough. We'll have to taste these before we put it up for sale tomorrow. You up for a little bit, little man? Is it good enough? A knock cuts to the air before I can answer. Sharp, heavy, demanding, familiar. So distantly familiar. Ma ushers me out of the kitchen when Pa moves to answer it. But I know what waits outside. The taste of blood in my mouth sends an unpleasant churning in my gut. Ma's apron crinkles under my tight grip. Oh, hello. Oh, someone's knocking up my... Ash is right. I should have already replaced that when I had the chance.
You're no longer there, Zachary. Here and there are miles apart. Calm down. Breathe.
Sorry to hear about that, Zachary. The pressure of my own fingers against my temple is a welcome sensation of the anxiety gripping me. I never really did anything to starve of this headache, sure to follow after this before, but it grounds me. A little reminder that I am safe, away from the place I once called home, from Ma and Pa's. The urgency from each rat that follows finally chases away the ghosts threatening to hang around. Careful what you wish for there. Why anyone thinks it's a good idea to knock on someone else's door, that slight confuses me. Anna would chase them all away with a broom if she was here. But no matter, it's a welcome break from the thoughts about to take a morbid turn if left festering. It's probably just Ash anyway, looking for a place to crash. Looking for a place to crash. Wonders of wonders why he's bothering with the courtesy when he never did so before. Even with that hunch, though, habit compels me to check who it is first through the peephole. Better safe than sorry, they say. Except the person that greets me on the side ain't him. That's a fish. Unless his hair grew longer overnight and he started wearing a ponytail, of course, which I highly doubt will happen anytime soon, no matter how funny it looks on in my head. I was no time opening the hatchet. Is that Miss McCulloch?
Isabella.
Oh, Isabella.
It's late.
Safe haven. There's something I can't quite pinpoint in her eyes when she looks up. Her face a pallid shade, shoulders tense, breathing heavy with an uncontrollable shaking in her hands she's trying to hold back. Hide? If I didn't know any better.
Hey, Zach. Sorry, I know it's weird for me to show up at this hour, but you were the closest to my office, and...
No. It's perfectly fine. I'm not really working on anything right now.
Oh, is this her having escaped the ghost?
Do you want to come in?
Is it all right? I know you should be sleeping at this hour, but I thought...
It's kind of midnight here.
I'm sorry, I just thought... I have no idea why I went here. My feet just moved on their own after I got out of the office, and...
Just as Bilbo Baggins once said, take your foot on the road, you never know where your feet will sweep you off to.
Sorry.
She trails off, her voice lost in the muggy night air. I wait for her to say more, but instead, her only response is a downward shift to her gaze, back to her trembling hands as if the motion alone is enough of an explanation. A minuscule gesture. Easy to miss if one is not paying attention. But for someone who has seen the same expression in the mirror, done the same thing too many times when night terrors are inevitable, it is not.
Hey, don't worry about it. At least you knocked. Ash just barges in and crashes on the couch whenever he feels like it.
Uninvited, just like that wooden person from Hilda, the Netflix series.
I swear that guy is one fine hairline away from being a criminal. Besides, you already know you can count on me whenever.
Without waiting for her answer, I step away from the door and saunter over the kitchenette. For a good few seconds, only the clinking of the plates can be heard over the constant tick-tock. Late as it may be for a snack, the familiar motions keep me occupied, steering my mind away from dangerous thoughts. Isabel's company is not unwelcome either. Whatever her reasons for showing up here at such an hour doesn't matter. I'll be damned if I turn her away, frazzled as she is. The door clicks shut behind her, and she finally enters, feet scuffling softly against the tiled floor. In all the years I've known her, she has never once lost her ever upbeat spirit. Yet in this particular moment, as she stands in my doorway, holding her arms close to herself, it's as if I'm looking at someone completely withdrawn from the person I've come to know all these years.
Do you want to drink or eat anything?
Itching his nose.
I haven't restocked my food stash yet, so ingredients may be a bit limited. But I'm sure I can whip something up with what I have here.
Just water will do, please.
By all means. Holy water, perhaps?
Thanks, Zach.
What? No additional food requests?
That's some orange juice.
That's new. I'll put something together for you anyway. Feel free to make yourself at home. You ain't exactly a new visitor here. Although my room's not at its most presentable right now. Sorry. New freelance gigs and such. Didn't have time to fix things up here lately.
Well, your room's better looking, but more tidy than mine.
It's okay. I don't mind.
Usually she'd have something more to say about that. A quip, a witty remark to provoke a laughter or two. Nothing from her this time. Only a weak smile before she takes a seat on the couch, and a silence that stretches out until we left hanging feels disconcerting. Before anything turns trifling and awkward, I continue talking, if only to keep the dead air at bay. How's one supposed to keep a conversation going when the person you're talking to is like this?
Anyway, gigs.
Yes, gigs.
Can you believe this one client we got? Boss had all my scheduled shoots shifted after they caught wind of this couple buying a new property. Man, must be nice to have all the money in the world.
Indeed.
The world itself moves for you, huh?
She's curled up on one side of the couch and hugging her knees close when I bring the tray carrying the sandwiches and the water she requested. She starts to straighten up as I'm unloading the contents, but pauses as soon as I hold up my hands in a halting gesture.
You're a guest. Didn't I say you're free to make yourself at home? Here's your water. Careful.
The tremor in her hands, though lighter now, she still hasn't subsided when she reaches out for the glass. I give her a questioning look, but she is quick to avert her eyes, keeping herself occupied by taking small gulps of water. Or maybe she just doesn't want me asking questions. Worrying. This sudden loss for words, this bout of quiet not normally present in our chats. Even the creaking of the old chair, which I usually take the seat, is a welcome break. Although the company's familiar, this has gone way past unnerving.
What happened? Overtime at work?
You could say that. She doesn't answer immediately. Another gulp drains her glass of its remaining contents. One would think it would be enough to help her recover, yet she doesn't lose her taut grip on the glass as she cradles it on her lap. Her eyes take an unfocused gaze when she speaks again.
Yeah. Boss handed me extra work today. After what happened.
Yeah, sorry to hear about your friend Rose.
To Rose.
To Rose.
Rose. Why do I feel like you've mentioned her before? Sorry, I'm better with remembering faces than names.
Yeah, same here.
She was my coworker. That will take some getting used to. I was just talking to her the other day.
Was? Did she resign or something? I think I'm missing a few details here, Bella.
You've never met her. I think I did mention her once or twice.
Just whilst I remember.
It doesn't matter. You probably heard her name recently from the news than me.
Something clicks then. A little memory from the night before. The bright red light from the dark room. The strong odor of the stop bath. The television's barely audible murmur in the background of a glimpse of a bloody room. The news is everywhere, even in the morning that follows. If I didn't think its effects would strike someone this close to me.
Oh, damn. I didn't mean to bring that up.
No, like I said, it'll take some getting used to, but it'll get better. I hope it will.
I hope so too.
Things might become a little busier for me, though. She left a lot of things unfinished, and I'm one of the few people in the office who knows how she works. Boss thinks the transition will be easier if I handle it.
That explains it. Well, just don't forget you still need rest. Even the most hard-working people I know don't keep hours as late as this.
Even God took a day off, so you need a break.
Hell, the subway stopped running hours ago. Crime rate might be lower here than most places, but that doesn't mean you can walk around freely in the middle of the night.
It's just for today.
Still a good thing you dropped by here first. I'm not just about to let you walk out here alone, especially not in the middle of the night. Who knows what else could happen? I'm not saying you should go right now, but I could accompany you home if you...
No! Wait, please!
The vehement tension in her voice makes me pause, and it is this instant the mask she's been keeping up falls apart, if only for a short while. Right then and there I understood what's hiding behind her unfocused stare from the moment she arrived. Fear. Pure, unadulterated fear. It's disturbing to see such marring her usual upbeat countenance. With a sigh, I cross the small distance separating us and kneel in front of her. She doesn't flinch when I do so. However, the way she appears to make herself smaller against the couch is telling me enough.
Bella, this ain't just about your coworker, is it? What is it really about? I'm all ears.
It was... Say it with me, everybody. The ghost! Oh no.
I don't know. I don't know anymore.
She claps her hands over her ears, pressing it tightly against the sides of her head. Zach, give her a hug! Her voice grows weaker with each word, with every plea coming out of her mouth.
Please, please don't leave me alone. I don't want to be alone right now. I can't shake it off. Everywhere's not safe and...
Hide, Isabella. Look at me, look at me.
My hands are firm on her shoulder when I pull her up to look at me. Hey. So I'm making a Spider-Man into a Spider-Verse joke. Anyway, it takes every force of will to ignore the terror in her eyes in favor of taking control of the situation. To close to familiar.
Breathe. Breathe. You're safe here. Inhale, hold, exhale. Stay in the present. I'm here. No one's gonna hurt you.
Yet.
Do you want to talk about it?
The force of which she shakes her head is enough to drop the topic altogether.
No more. Please, no more. I don't want to remember anymore.
Okay.
Kate, no more talking. I won't ask anymore. Can I get you anything? Another glass of water? I think I have a tub of that pistachio ice cream you love so much.
Pistachios.
We're gonna have to clean this mess first. Will you be fine on your own for a little while?
She nods slightly, before retreating into herself again. No more words are exchanged after that. I take my cue to start cleaning the shards littered the floor because either one of us gets hurt. The quiet hum of the AC is a pleasant distraction if I go over the menial task. More so than ragged draws of breath of my little feeble attempts to tell a quick story or two. But the latter does the trick. And soon enough she has already drifted off by the time I return from the promised glass of water, her chest rising and falling in a steady rhythm, the strains on her shoulders gone. Frankly, I've never seen her this still. She mumbles, something I don't quite catch when I carry her to the empty bed and hugs herself tightly against the mess of blankets. In spite of the fact she appears relaxed, the small frown on her face hasn't quite disappeared. Whatever happened to her won't be leaving her anytime soon. But for her sake, I hope it won't stay long with her. Because no matter what promises I've made, this is a kind of fear no person could shield her from. I should know. There are still questions left to be answered. But the late hour, coupled with the sudden exhaustion, made my old couch a more comfortable bed than it typically is. Darkness immediately welcomes me as soon as my head hits the makeshift pillow. I can only wish the dreams will keep at a distance for now. For both of us. October 25th, Tuesday. And it's the afternoon. We overslept. No, that clock must be broken. In the end, it's become one of those nights when sleep passes with a blink and it's plagued with vague, fuzzy thoughts. I lift a hand to rub away the drowsiness from my eyes, although it does little to relieve the gritty, burning sensation from my eyelids. Outside, the sun is yet to peek over the horizon, but the night has already given way to the cool morning light, washing everything in subtle grey hues. At this hour, the entire city remains, and the same flock of birds, unstirring. Ordinarily, waking up before my own alarm means abusing the snooze button, twice or thrice just to catch those precious few extra minutes of sleep, same flock of birds. But the persistent ringing makes it impossible now.
This better be good.
Groggily, I scramble for the bag sitting in front of the bed. Ah, it's the asshole. Must be pretty urgent if he hasn't dropped a call yet.
Took you long enough, Z-Man.
Ashton, it's 6 in the morning. The sun hasn't even risen. Hell, my brain ain't even awake yet.
The sun has risen.
Stop calling me Z-Man.
What, you don't want to be associated with the G-Man from Half-Life?
It's 20 past 6, Zach.
You need to watch the Half-Life Alyx trailer.
You want to talk? Give me back my 5 extra minutes, Ash. I want my sleep.
And by 5 minutes, we really mean 10 minutes because that's not really a guarantee. We tend to oversleep accidentally.
Hey, don't make fun of me. I can be a more person too if I want to.
What's this all really about? You don't usually make calls around this hour.
Until today!
Is the world ending today?
Sorry about that. Becca rang me up a few minutes ago looking for Isabella. Said she didn't show up in her own apartment last night. We both tried calling, but her phone seems to be off. Do you have any idea where...
I should have known you two would come looking for her first thing in the morning.
Not a laughing matter, Zach. You can't really let your guard down with everything that's happened here recently. You've heard about the Cooper wound from the news. Everyone in the precinct has been restless ever since the incident the other day.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Indeed.
Listen, Ash, about Bella.
I let my voice trail off, unsure of how to go about recounting last night. If I should even say anything to him, he might be a close friend, but at the end of the day, whatever's bothering her ain't mine to speak of in the first place. On the bed, Isabella remains as still as I was transferred her the night before. Sometime during her sleep, she pulls up a blanket over herself and tucked into it comfortably. Like this, it's easy to forget the horror in her eyes, or how much her hands and lips trembled. Save for her firm grip on the edge of the covers, she appears nearly as normal as she would for any other day. Almost.
I'm not really sure how to go about this while being...
Zach, what about her?
While being Zach. Something, the worry, the concern, must have surfaced in my tone because his own shifts then, carefully as if he's preparing for the worst.
Look, you don't have to worry about her. She's with me right now. Since last night, in fact.
Oh, why didn't you just say so earlier?
She kinda knocked in the middle of the night. I couldn't possibly wake you two over that. And with how things are when she arrived, I thought it'd be best if I let her rest first. I just wasn't expecting people would be looking for her before the rooster even crows.
You could have at least called her something. Becca's beside herself with worry when she found out. You know how much she frets about the smallest stuff.
I know. I'm sorry. that was a lapse on my part. And I just didn't think, okay, you know what? Rebecca's worries ain't completely baseless. Isabella hasn't been her usual self since the movie. Maybe even before that. I don't know if I should be opening my mouth about this, but Bella didn't outright say I shouldn't, so
So something's wrong then?
Oh, yes.
I'm not quite sure, to be completely honest. I couldn't get the story out of her.
Really? I thought you'd learned something from me by now.
That's not it. Ash, when she appeared at my doorstep last night, she was shaking, and when I tried to ask her about it, she just panicked. Had this frightened look on her face. I'd be surprised if this was the first time I've seen it, but it ain't. Dude, the first time, she was screaming.
First time? When was this? You weren't talking about the thing in the movie house, are you? Because that was just us fooling around. Granted, I think I went overboard with the joke, but...
No, it happened the day after. When she invited us to lunch, you weren't there.
Yeah, that was me screaming over the top when I saw her in the reflection, yes.
We were walking one second, and then the next, she's crying out. I'll be straight with you. That scared me shitless.
It bothered him, if the way he falls silent after his telling, but whatever his opinion is, stays absent from his voice when he speaks again. He's always been good with that, hiding what he thinks.
Did she say anything else?
Nothing. Won't tell me anything aside from a few vague words. I didn't want to push it.
Where is she? Is she still sleeping?
Right here with me, still sleeping. Should I wake her up or something? Let her know you guys are looking for her?
No need. Let her rest. I'll drop by in a few.
Today? Don't you have work at this time? I mean, I can drop her off home myself before meeting my client later.
Who keeps talking?
My schedule's flexible, Ash. Last time I checked, you're the one who didn't have that luxury. How on earth do you think I'm able to tag along when you need me?
It's not completely out of the way.
They live on the other side of the town from you, Ash. Your definition of out of the way is a little screwed up, you know.
It's fine. I have some things I need to do anyway. I'll call you back. I've got to let Becca know that Scared Cat's fine. Bye.
Bye. He drops the call before I can even get a word in. About 7 minutes after, I find myself simply listening to the rest of Luxburn rouses. Ooh, that must be the neighbor playing the piano. The increasing sound of passing traffic, the bustle of the nearby shops preparing for the day, and the growing clamor of the people while they go about their morning. Not the most soothing sounds to hear following a troubled night, but the routine puts me at ease nonetheless. What's comforting, what's safe, what I'm used to. Nearby, Isabella shifts but doesn't wake, blissfully unaware as the city slowly stirs itself back to life. Was her night as restless as the one I had? Were her dreams as lucid? In hushed moments like this, I envy her. Unreasonable, probably a little unfair, to say such in light of last night. If only forgetting is as easy as breathing. A small yawn escapes me when I rise from the couch to stretch. Luckily, the short conversation with Ash has effectively driven away any will to go back to bed. I still have the day to get through despite the proverbial ghosts hanging around. Yeah, or literal ghosts. The orange bottle sitting at the edge of the table is reassuring against the palm my instant I pick up. The sterile odor of the capsules equally so. Yet the weight they carry is something I've never gotten used to. Years ago I spent minutes, heck even hours staring at a single pill prior to taking one in. Now it's just routine. A way to stay from the unwanted nightly visits. Although I don't think Dr. Navarro will be quite pleased if he ever finds out I'm relying on them again. I do owe him a visit, regardless. Especially after missing out appointments on purpose and ignoring his calls for weeks. Another sigh comes out, tired and weary, then I pop the tablet into my mouth.
Zach? What time is it?
Good morning, Bella. The bottle in my hands hits the table with more force than necessary. As much as I trust my friends, there are some things I'd rather keep to myself.
Morning, Bella. Did you sleep well?
She answers the question with a long, drawn-out yawn, one reminiscent of a child. A chuckle managed to come out of my mouth at the sight. In this manner, it's easy to mistake her for someone too young for responsibility. Yeah, looking good for her age. Inexperienced and immature even. Easy to forget that she was thrust into a role of an adult earlier than her own dreams can afford, to overlook how surprisingly observant she can be at times. Maybe not on the same level Ash exercises for his own investigations or Becca needs for her own work, but certainly enough to definitely put what she sees around her own canvas. And if the way her eyes flickers at the table and my hand says something, it is that I won't be able to avoid the questions this time.
Only a little. I don't remember how I ended up on the bed, though.
Maybe it's best not to remind her at the moment.
My doing. You didn't look very comfortable sleeping on the couch, all hunched up like that.
It would have been enough for something temporary. Sorry I stole your bed.
That's alright. You needed it more than me.
Hey, it doesn't matter. Besides, what kind of gentleman would I be if I leave a lady sleeping in such uncomfortable conditions?
Indeed.
Not in this house. My nana will give me a tough scolding if I ever did that, I'm telling you.
Indeed.
Thanks a lot, Zach. I know I barged in at a very inconvenient time last night. I wasn't really thinking when I did, and...
Hey, it's cool, Bella. I ain't mad at you. That's what friends do. You guys are welcome here anytime. Although Ashton abuses the anytime part a lot. I don't really mind. We might have less wiggle room if all four of us are present, considering the size of this place. But as long as no one makes anything explode, it's totally fine.
Fine or not, I still owe you one for last night's trouble, especially since you don't seem to be...
A concerned expression passes over her features as she spares another cursory glance over the table, back to the bottle holding every small piece of what keeps the bad memories at bay. The blood blooming over Pa's heart, the horrified look on Ma's face as she watches him fall lifeless to the ground, and every ounce of spite seeping from the stranger's smile. You won't belong here. You monkeys don't belong here. It never stops, doesn't it?
Well, you don't seem to be feeling well. Let me know, okay? I'll make it up to you somehow.
She makes a slight gesture with her head towards the bottle, asking a question without really asking. Subtlety has never been one of her greatest assets, but right now, even Ash would have been a little amazed, if not at a loss for words at that. She has even left it to me whether I'll give her the response she wants to hear or not. Tell the truth. Boop! But it's never easy, ain't it? Talking about my own problems, that is. It will never be, not by a long shot. Not when I've let her stay this long. I realized that long ago when the wounds are still fresh, the dreams are a nightly occurrence. Can't force yourself to get better on or move on to better things. It is what's normal now, and I can only cope. The question in her eyes may be unwarranted, born simply out of curiosity and sincere concern for a friend. I don't owe her an explanation, in fact. But of all the people I kept close in my life, she's probably one of the very few who perhaps I can trust with this. Maybe she won't understand entirely. I can never hope she will. No, never to the full extent. That alone is expecting too much of her, giving too much of what I can. However, for all her shortcomings, I know she'll hear me out. And all that I can ask of her.
My bad. I was kinda hoping you wouldn't have seen me with these.
The pills rattled lightly against the container when I gently set it back to its usual place. Always the small area closest to my laptop, near the right hand. Within reach whenever, and quiet reminder of what I shouldn't miss every day.
What? Oh, is it bad? I was just thinking that maybe it's a cold like Becca's. Do you need me to get anything from the store? Soup or something? There's one nearby, right?
I recommend some good lemsips.
I can run real quick and...
No, nothing of that sort. I'm perfectly healthy right now.
Physically.
It's really difficult to say, but... Can you promise me you'll listen at least?
What is this about, Zach?
I should have been upfront with you about this a long time ago. But Ashton found out without me telling him anything. Well, you already know how that guy is. Can't hide anything from him.
If it's something you're having trouble saying, you don't have to force yourself to tell me. I'll forget I ever saw anything and won't ask questions. Promise.
No, I need to get this off my chest eventually. Besides, we're already here. Might as well finish what I started, yeah?
Yeah.
If you say so.
She takes a seat on the couch, her posture easy and open, and her smile honest. As if this is a simple talk between two friends on a regular day. It's as far from one, but her reserved air is enough to stamp down the twinge of unease that threatens to come up.
Let's hear it then.
And she does. True to her word, she listens while the story spills out of my mouth, of my ma and pa, that little old diner across the pond, and what is left in me that day. I can't recall most of it. Now my own account jagged with a few missing details here and there. The passing years have eroded most of my recollection of the whole incident. All except for that one moment in the kitchen. The ringing of gunshots are so vivid as it sounded that day. Even Ma's hysterical screams the moment Pa's body hits the floor motionless, his lifeblood flowing out of him under him. And the gunman? He was smiling. He was smiling when Pa opened the door to welcome him. He was smiling when he put a bullet to Pa's chest and Ma's head. I've heard stories of how the world can be a cruel place for people like us before. I never believed until that moment.
Nan and Gran took us right after that. Sis and I flew straight to New Jersey as soon as they heard the news. A few days after, Ma and Pa were laid to rest. And we have a new home a continent away. I didn't even get the chance to take my favorite pillow with me. They said something about the change of environment will be good for us. They had no idea the different kind of ghosts would follow me here.
And even a literal ghost. But anyway, I expected questions. Mostly those bringing from childlike curiosity, and maybe some of them a little hard to answer. But to her credit, she just sat there, bent her ears, and looked at me with no expectations or necessary judgment in her eyes. She appears wiser and older like this. Easier to see the breadwinner in her. Her younger siblings are lucky to have her. When I'm done, after everything's been said, she wraps her arms around me. A bit awkward, considering the gap in her heights, but it gets our sentiment across. But it's difficult to answer this in kind, if I'm even supposed to recuperate the gesture, given my earlier apprehension. She pulls away shortly with a smile on her face. Not the reaction I braced myself for, but it is obviously better than what I imagined.
Are you not gonna say anything?
Am I supposed to say anything after? Like, apologize or something? I don't think that's very appropriate, but if you want to hear one, I can think of something real quick.
Not really. Other people have something to say after usually. And they're not necessarily nice either.
Oh? Okay then. I won't. I can't think of something anyway. Sorry, I'm not very good with this. Who else knows, by the way?
My older sister, grandparents, and just Ash and you for now. Maybe I think I should tell Rebecca too, but...
But not right now?
Yeah, not right now. But I'm ready. Like today.
And with that, I'm just going to save the game because I'm running late for something. I'm just going to check a few things before I leave off. Whoa! Whoa! The relationship with Isabel is almost through the roof there. And Rebecca's good friend, Ash's good friend, and yeah, he's just a friendly guy. And the journal, let's see. Okay, so... And then that's Zachary Steele. Okay. Okay, that happened. Blessing of the house. Okay, so she did escape the ghost. Okay. Okay. Right. Zachary. Okay. 31 years old. Okay. Okay, now I've gotten to know more about them. So I'm just finding out all these things. Fascinating. And so, with that, we're just gonna end it right here. Thank you all so much, as always, for listening in on this this humble little gameplay series. We got down and managed to discuss some good issues with Zachary. And now, we're just going to end it off here. So, thank you all so much for watching as always. And we will return to this series. So ScotsMaiar signing out in the meantime.